Hey YouTubers, it's me, Lonnie Clark, Beyond Extinction Love. It's another little political update here. So this morning I attempted to call the Senate and complain about Elon Musk taking over our government at the behest of Donald Trump and Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio, who got 99 votes out of the Senate to be our Secretary of State, just got on his knees and, did whatever Donald Trump told him to do, which was open up the coffers to Elon Musk and let him steal all of our information. And so it's kind of a shock today. We're having this come to Jesus moment where the Republicans, Senator John Thune, the new leader of the Senate, and Representative Mike Johnson, Speaker Mike Johnson, are basically declaring that they're un-American. They refuse to hold the executive branch accountable. They're letting them illegally open up classified information, installing basically young kids, 22, 23-something tech bros who will just say Sig Heil and do whatever their dear leader wants. They're basically fundamentally undermining our Constitution right now, is essentially what's happening. And the FBI should have arrested Musk. The CIA should have arrested Donald Trump and Musk for being spies. Where's Homeland Security? And you know what? Where the heck is Kamala Harris? Where the heck is this person that we thought was going to be the president and had the leadership skills to run the country? And now when the traitors are taking over, she's just silent zipperoo, except for Act Blue wants to use her name and keep begging money from us. I mean, what is wrong with the Democratic Party? It's just beyond comprehension to me. Honest to God, I just cannot comprehend the absolute lack of leadership and courage out of the Democratic Party. They need to be demanding that Joint Chiefs of Staff step up and save our democracy. We have a Constitution that's being violated right now every single day by Donald Trump. And is this what Senator Thune wants his legacy to be? That he's the man who allowed the Constitution to be destroyed in 2025? It's not a political agenda. It's an un-American agenda that they're doing. They don't have a difference of opinion about how politics should go in our country. They have a difference of opinion how our government should be run. Elon Musk wants the oligarchs to run them. He wants him to run the government. Let's just be really clear. I mean, our country is on fire right now. Seriously bad on fire. And the Republicans who are clicking their heels and saying Sig Heil, they're going to find a very different America. We're not giving in like Nazi Germany. We're not going to be allowing you, to be dragging off our neighbors, although some people have been. I wouldn't. They're starting to stash people at Gitmo. What's the point of arresting people? Why don't you just deport them? Why can't you just deport them? Why do you have to put them at Gitmo to torture them first? Because that is who these people are. They love torturing people. In fact, they love making us all miserable. They're having a good old time understanding that we're all miserable. So I just refuse to be miserable and anxious about it all. I know that all things will work out, that all things work out for the greater good. And I believe that these people are about to end. I think we're in the middle of really what we're in is a civil war. And it really comes back down to white supremacy. Because white supremacy is exactly why they created Israel and the South African country. The South African Constitution and the Constitution of Israel were written by the very same man. They wrote an apartheid constitution in both countries because they wanted to make a stronghold of white supremacy in Africa. And that's, in fact, why we support Israel so badly. Has nothing to do with the Jewish people and protecting their homeland, protecting the Jews. Has nothing to do with that. That's the excuse. What they want to do is have a firm foothold of white supremacy in Africa and have a place for permanent war. That's why our country edifies Netanyahu, a war criminal who kills children and women and bombs hospitals and mosques and churches and Christians and Jews. I mean, Even the October 7th event, they instituted the Hannibal, what's it called? The Hannibal Doctrine, where they actually killed more of their own people on the October 7th event to keep Hamas from taking people hostage. So they murdered their own people. That's what the Israeli government is about. They brainwashed their own people. And they're trying to do it to us, which is why I'm on YouTube. We're going to fight back with words, not with weapons. Do call your senators and do call the DC offices. This is the thing. You're going to get a bunch of static. It's real staticky. Over the weekend, Elon Musk hacked our phone systems of the government. And when you call your senators, we basically have taxation without representation right now, because you're not going to get through to your senators when you get the phone. Nobody's in their offices, right? So no one's answering the phone. You get their messages. And what you get is all staticky. They can't hear you, you can't hear them. But I discovered if you call 3 or 4 or 5 times, you can get through and the phone won't be staticky. So just keep calling back and eventually you'll get a non-static line. It's not all the time. Just enough to make people stop calling Congress. That's the point, is to make people give up. I mean, these people are really evil. These people are in the den. We're in the den of snakes, like bad people. Bad people. Like, not good. Donald Trump is not a good person. In fact, he's a despicable character who hates America. And Marco Rubio, he must just be blackmailed. So this is my thinking. I think what we should do, frankly, is we ought to offer all the Republicans immunity and say, look, we know that Donald Trump is blackmailing you. He's got some compromise. He's got information on you that he could use as dirt. And he's using it to force your loyalty to him and not to our Constitution. As far as I'm concerned, we give them a blanket immunity if they start asserting their power again. Because I don't care what kind of graft or grift they did, because God knows Nancy Pelosi's made millions of dollars off of our backs and harmed millions of people. I mean, I am no fan of Nancy Pelosi. I could tell you some stories about that one, but I call her Iron Fist Pelosi. She is, in fact, the reason we have Donald Trump. It was her decision. She chose this path, and we are on it because the Democrats are clicking their heels and saying Sig Heil. They are not fighting back. Now they're stunned because all of a sudden, like, those guys are getting serious. I mean, how privileged of a white male do you have to be to not believe somebody when they tell you they're going to take over your government and destroy everything inside of it? They told us exactly what they're going to do. They said they were going to deport people. They said they were going to take over the government system, set up Doge. This conversation about Doge should have been dealt with before it even got set up. But we have a bunch of old people running the Democratic Party and a bunch of basically Republican lights. They want the tax cuts. Believe you me, folks. They're not fighting for us, most of them. Maybe 50% of them. But the ones in power, the one that controls the Democratic Party, those people, they're not looking out for us. Because if they were, Donald Trump would already be in jail. You know? They didn't even try to give him a hard time. They just let him walk right in. And now we're finding out that 3.5 million voters were purged from the Democratic Party rolls. And that if you had a provisional ballot during the 2024 election, if you were a Harris voter, your vote didn't get counted. That's how much cheating there was. Or if you had a mail-in ballot, if your vote was for Harris, it didn't get counted. It just did not get counted. This is what they're saying. This is actually the documentation from the Board of Electorates. They're not hiding it. So when people tell you who they are, believe them the first time. It's 9 minutes. I'm going to end here, but I do want to encourage everybody to go on February 5th, get your capital, go to the capital of your state. It's going to be cold in 2 days. So at noon, everybody's going to go out and protest at noon on February 5th at your state capital. I don't think it's going to be for very long because it's going to be freezing everywhere, but we got to go out and show some force. I'm taking off that day for a little while. And I'm going to bring a bullhorn and stand out in front of the Capitol building. They're going to know who I am. This is not right, you guys. And we need to remind Republicans to start acting like Americans instead of Nazis. Because that's what they're acting like. They're acting like Nazis, you know, completely loyal to Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler too, or Pinochet too. So, put your courage feet on, you guys. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Ciao.